Hello, my name is Alan. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm running the last but one of a short series of the cluster. This is my gaming development about um, folk making a living across a cluster of 7 systems and playing to find out what's going on under the surface. You want to hear any more? Go back to the first sessions of these series. Only got 2 players today because of life. Um, and I'm not going to ask them to introduce themselves. We'll worry about that in play, I think, because we want to get on. If I'm a bit nasal, that's because my nose is bunged up, so I apologize in advance for that. Um, and by the end of the session, I may be all throat sweet and no human being. Um, so we are going to. Oh, sorry, I need to say that we are running this game under the auspices of the Open Hearth gaming community. And if you don't know about the Open Hearth, please type Open Hearth. Um, and therefore, we're playing within the community code of conduct, which we think is great in creating a really positive table culture. And we're also playing with a set of safety tools. And again, go back to an earlier session to learn about what we're using and why. Um, so we are going to open with the ship, the Fortitude, exiting the ring gate in the system that we are calling the Iron Wreath. Um, this system is only asteroids and other rocks. Its means of production is pretty much chemical fuels. And economically, it's broadly sustainable. But we are particularly interested in what a faction called the Horizon can do for the players, I think. But we'll play to find out where this takes us. So, on emerging from the ring gate, there's a brief stopover at the ring gate authorities refueling and resupply. So you come through the ring gate, reset your cred to 2. That's your credibility and liquidity in system. But I am going to charge you now for refuel and resupply, which just about takes the only bit. You are now back to scraping by. But do you want any repairs done, I suppose, is the other question I want to ask you about your stopover, brief stopover at the station.
We did take some damage, didn't we?
You did. Currently, minor damage to operations, which you temporarily sorted, I think, in terms of the impact it had on your control systems. But you do need to get rid of those boxes that are ticked up at the top of operations. You also took a hammering in terms of incoming fire. Your armor, you have just 1, and on the second damage to your hull, that will be Fubar.
I'm struggling to read where I see that the damage has been done on that.
It's the ticks, Will.
So the section ticks.
There are sections. So every time you took a hit, yes, every time you take a hit, one of those boxes is marked, or maybe 2 or 3, depending on which weapon hit you. I think that was some PDC and a missile hit, actually.
It was, yeah.
And that can have an impact on your rating. Now, I to be honest, the details escape me. But at the moment, you have armor is at +0. So your hull needs physical repair to get that +1 armor back, because there's a red box on the armor block that is unmarked.
From reading right, we got 2 damage to hull, 1 damage to engineering, and 1 damage to operations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And in terms of fix something, that's gear rather than the ship.
It is. Right? It is. The only way to repair the ship is by paying for it.
By paying for it.
We've got to repair the hull, because no engineering and no operations, they're not going to fit into nothing. You've got to have the shell, at least to some degree.
So, yes. For instance, if we look at hull, the costs of when you're scraping by, a repair costs you 2 wealth. So you could turn your hull from having taken 2 points of damage. You could make that 1 point of damage, and that would mean that armor popped back up to +1, its maximum. That would cost you 2.
We could go all the way down to desperate, couldn't we? And repair
You could.
3 things.
You could.
Why not? Why would we not do that?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 away from scraping by, and take 1 of those hull damage away and repair the hull armor. Yeah. Then another 2, 4, 6 would return operations, engineering, and hull back to its best position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to get the ship in a good position. We don't want to be going in with damage to against the maintenance guild, supposedly with their high energy weapons and all of those sorts of things.
Okay, so you drop from breaking even all the way down to desperate. Losing 4 more wealth will leave you with 1 mission left in you, or the ship is repossessed and the crew is dispersed. So a risky strategy, but nonetheless one that may pay off.
Does that affect our opportunities this session?
Yes.
Then maybe we'd leave 1. Because we were at full 6 boxes, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about now only spending 5. Well,
I guess only spending 4. Returning 1 of the damaged boxes back to it.
I mean, that's an interesting question. Let me just consider for a moment. It does seem to me that you arrive at breaking even, so you should be using the breaking even details.
Yeah.
And the consequence of that is that when all of this is finished, you're in a trickier position. So because we're kind of fleshing this out on the hoof here. So let me think about that again. We're on the breaking even table. Yeah. Refuel and resupply is going to cost you 1. Repairs are going to cost you 1 each.
Repairs cost 2 each, I believe, on the breaking even.
No.
Breaking even is.
I'm looking at scraping by.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So no, I think it's logical that we use that.
Okay. Yeah.
So repairs for you cost -1. So repairing that armor, that hull costs you 1, which takes us down from there. So now your final position is going to be breaking even, but we're still using is scraping by. We're still using the breaking even. And then you wanted to repair another 3 boxes, didn't you?
Yeah. And under this one, that would still leave us with 2
Would still be scraping
by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There
Perfect.
we go. Yeah, I think that makes sense. There's an intuitiveness about that.
I think that does make sense as well, because then it stops you having to get bogged down in the order of operations, right? Because otherwise you'd be like, oh, well, I obviously do my fix, refresh, heal before I fix the hull, because that doesn't cost me anything.
Precisely. You know? Okay. So yeah, it is at the point that you exit the ring gate. Fine. Okay. So I mean, I suppose I could ask you the question of whether you want to go so far as to upgrading a component or marking. And are you? I mean, you could still get to desperate, is what I think I'm saying to you, if you wanted to spend more.
No, I think that's enough. I think that fictionally, like having a bunch of damage on your ship and taking on what might be a very intense mission seemed even if it would make you desperate, right? Like it's your last haul. Whereas I think upgrading the components is more like beyond our means, unless perhaps we manage to get some nice paying work this session. Who knows?
Well, exactly so. Who knows, eh? So, downtime. When you exit a ring gate, fix, refresh, or heal. as determined by wealth. So wealth is telling us at breaking even, you can choose any one. So you can fix a piece of equipment, just remove the red mark. You can clear your stress track, or you can clear one wound.
I'm going to fix my equipment.
I thought you might.
Yeah, I think I need to fix my engineering kit and get it back.
Okay.
Scavenge some parts out of the. Perhaps while we're getting our ship fixed at the thing, I'm rooting around and in the spare parts and everything, and adding new bolts and new things, and refueling my welder and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that works for me. Then either you flash back to your time in ring space, 2 weeks that you spent getting from Snag to here, or you frame a scene illustrating how you spent some of your shore leave and choose one of the 4 different moves. So, and that the thing I would point out is that flashbacks use a variety of different stats, whereas shore leave is all based on your credibility and credit. I notice neither of you have any stress or wounds at the minute.
Makes it easier, isn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I'm always drawn to the work on a project one, but it's like in Blades, I often end up not doing it because it's such a longer term investment than, and I think particularly with a game like this where it's like not randomly generated, but spontaneously generated from session to session. It's only as we've come towards the end that I can even begin to conceive of projects that would be helpful for the wider narrative, as opposed to.
I think it's only if you early on set up a project as part of that arc, and then
exactly. Yeah. Whereas I wasn't sure what direction we'd be going in at any point. What's really going on? I think we know what's really going on. We already did that last time, didn't we? We already sorted out quite a lot of stuff. We established that Mantis is basically like the name of a co-opted RGA unit, conspiracy in line with this militant faction, the Maintenance Guild, that wants to use a super weapon. All about basically the top tiers of technology in the cluster, securing a hold over the entire cluster forever, and in the interim, making sure that no one can threaten them by spreading out too far, getting too much power. And the Steel Moon, not the Steel Moon, sorry, the Harvest, what are they called again?
The Horizon.
The Horizon are our perhaps lead to get into onto the Steel Moon, into the territory, because they're smugglers. They know the ways in and ways out, how to get underneath their radar. So with that in mind, I think it's put your ears, because I don't have any favors with the Horizon.
No,
neither does my compatriot.
I think those sit with Paul, did you not allocate 3 debts and a favor?
I used the favor. The favor was Snags.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
And I didn't know we were coming here, so I didn't put any favors here or debts.
Right. Well, do you want to put a debt here or not?
No, I'm the Forsaken and Gallia's aid.
Fair enough. Nice. So with that in mind, then, Rillisk, what are we seeing? How are we seeing Rillisk using downtime?
Need to find a friendly face. I think we need to find a contact within the Horizon. I have because Chris McPatrick himself has some links to the Horizon, right? Because you're Jax's old partner, basically, and Jax was our man from the Horizon.
He was.
So I think I'm going.
I mean,
around the station.
Just for by the by, is it not more likely that McPatrick is going to find a friendly face here than you?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
and you did talk about whether you can get a decent paying job while you're in system?
Okay, Rillisk is swearing at the fees being charged by this RGA station's maintenance stuff.
Mhm.
And she's talking, she looks at Patrick and she says, there's no point in bloody saving the cluster if we can't afford to, to refuel the ship. And the price they're paying for cleaning the oxygen filters, do they want us to just choke to death out there? I'm going to have to go find some work, I'm afraid. We're going to have to make some money, I think. You've got contacts, yes, here. You go deal with that. I'll see if I can scare us up something that will keep the lights on.
You got it. I'm on.
So, therefore, Dr. Rillisk, when you check the biz, when you say where you go and what you do to discover how to get the best jobs, roll plus cred. But where do you go and what do you do?
Well, we have a little thing for missions, right? For paying jobs. There's
We do.
a table somewhere.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Well, this is advantage to get a job. So first of all, it's where do you do to find out?
Oh, yes, I know. But what I'm saying is that types of job would have different
Right.
places to look at, right?
Okay.
And so,
but if you look at ships and wealth and look at breaking even, you've got local white collar work, cargo run, salvage job, recovery and rescue job, investigative job, mercenary job.
Okay, wow. I don't know the two that speak out to me in terms of because my inclination is always to try and make this tie in some way with the ongoing plot line.
So does that help you describe where you go and what you do in order to get this roll plus cred?
Yeah. I think it would be better to do it the other way around. Have Chris McPatrick reach out to a friendly face, because what screams out to me is that this is a Horizons system, right?
Yeah.
So probably any job that isn't a basic cargo run, salvage, etc., right? Like the day-to-day blue collar work is going to be from the Horizon. So it'd probably be better to establish that Horizon people before approaching that. I don't want to be like, I go to a different Horizon person and ask them for a job while you're going to a different Horizon person and like saying we need your help kind of thing.
Okay. So find a friendly face, or do you want to do something else, Chris? I mean, I pointed you in that direction only because this is your home, inverted commas.
Yeah, I want to find a friendly face. I want to find a space raider sort of ganger. Yeah. So, Doctor, this has all got to relate back to there's something that Mantis wants in this system, isn't it? To help repair these Titans, basically. Is that what I'm?
No, I think that the only reason.
What's your hypothesis?
My hypothesis, McPatrick, is that we need help to get onto the Steel Moon and to expose Mantis and their ulterior motives and the true purpose of the maintenance guild's work on the Steel Moon. And that, but to approach the Steel Moon directly would be suicide, as they know who we are.
We need some sort of access codes.
Yeah, I don't think that currently we have anything that Mantis wants from the Horizon, other than they don't like that the Horizon are getting too big for their britches, basically. Like they are one of the lower peoples who are daring to touch the stars when it's their domain.
And I would want to remind you that last time an agent of Mantis, of the Maintenance Guild, found Rillisk on Snag, and we know from how that fell out that he got a report away. So they know where you were.
Yeah, and they also want Rillisk because she's, in classic sci-fi fashion, has a insight into the thing that they want to do on the Steel Moon that A means that she doesn't want to do it, and B that would help them achieve their she understands the lost archaeotech more than they do, kind of stuff.
So with that in mind, McPatrick, where do we see you and what do we see you doing to find some common ground with somebody?
Yeah, I think it's with a sort of a gang member from an in-system gang called the Meat Grinders.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to touch base on with him. I want to know where the meat grinders sort of station is.
Well, that's a second step. This is, do you find a friendly face?
Okay.
So let's have you roll. Where do we see you looking for this friendly face?
I think this is at the Ringgate Authority sort of bar.
Okay.
Sort of while our ship is getting fixed,
Mm-hmm.
there's clearly some downtime facilities for.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Let's have you roll plus cred, which is +2 until you leave.
Have I got the roller? Possibly not.
It's in safety and links.
Safety and links.
The one that isn't crossed out.
Oh yeah, it's just under it. I see it. I see it. Where do I copy? Here we go.
Roll 17.
Yep. Distinct Jaguar.
That is
okay. That. So my credit is currently 2, so it's a roll up +2. I'll highlight the dice. I have rolled a 3 and a 1.
Well. Okay. On a 6-, the GM chooses one of the 7 options, but raises the stakes, or chooses one of these. I think it's time for a faction entanglement. Yeah, and that factional entanglement takes the. You don't find a friendly face. It's the top bottom of it. But instead, you find yourself in a situation where a member of the Horizon, who are the fixer smugglers that ostensibly you were working for, because you were a PI deployed to Snag to do work for them. And you find that the heavy hand falls on your shoulder and says, "What the fuck are you doing here? Am I not paying you to be on Snag?" At which point we will cut to Dr. Rillisk.
So then I will go looking for work, and I will, I'll be very pretty clumsy about it, to be honest.
I'm curious, is this the same bar, or where do you go looking? Is this have you got a location? Do you want to frame the scene?
Yeah, why not the same bar? I'm talking to the bartender and I'm going, I don't know if you know a man named Jax by any chance. He could speak to a member of my crew. Lost him somewhere a few gates ago, but I'm sure he'll work his way back. But he could vouch for our skills here on the Fortitude. It's a good ship, excellent skills among the crew. We could do any sort of job, really. We could just do with making some credits rather rapidly. Perhaps in system while we're tidying up some duties,
Let's have you roll +2 for Craig.
She'll lean in close and go, what sort of opportunities are on the horizon, as it were. And that is a 11.
And he has heard of both Jax and the Fortitude, so I think that all works very well. On a 7+, say what you find out and hold an advantage for when the crew next tries to find paying work. So you will have an advantage to find work. 10+, say how what you've spent time on generates an additional opportunity to fix, refresh, or heal. I don't think you need that opportunity, do you?
No, I don't know.
Fine. So just make a note you have advantage for the next time you go. He sends you, he points out some people. Yeah? Mm-hmm. One of whom has a hand on the shoulder of McPatrick over there. McPatrick, what do you do?
Dr. Rillisk looks overjoyed to see McPatrick is already in negotiations with one of our potential clients.
It's all going terribly well. McPatrick, what do you do in response to that question?
I'll seem quite flustered. I'll say, "That's a really good story I need to tell you. Have a seat and a drink."
What are you trying to achieve? Pardon me.
I'm going to try and spin him a yarn that via a very convoluted and roundabout route, I've ended up back here rather than there, but I'm still on mission.
Is this convince rather than compel? Seems to me.
Definitely convince.
Okay, so this is charm, pacify, or encourage, I think, is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Roll plus sincere.
Rolling flat. And I've rolled a 3 and a 2.
They refuse or demand something significant for you, or the GM describes the cost of failure. The cost of failure is a small gun in the small of your back. And he says, yeah, let's have that chat. Come with me. Rillisk, your eyes light up when you see that McPatrick is already in negotiations. Job done.
Yes. But I mean, I follow along. I think.
Well, I'm going to ask McPatrick, what is the look on your face as you catch Rillisk's eye?
I think I'll give a mark. So they know.
Is it clear that McPatrick is leaving under some duress?
Yeah, I think he's got his sort of hands out slightly sideways. It definitely looks a bit odd.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
the other guy has still got a hand on your shoulder, but there's also a hand in the small of his back, Rillisk.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the perfect time to come over and say what a wonderful opportunity the crew of the Fortitude offer to these people.
So are you going to interrupt their journey across the bar? Is what
yes,
I guess.
Yes. I'll go. Gentlemen, you've met Mr. McPatrick already. Dr. Rillisk of the ship Fortitude. You are just the people I've been looking for. My good friend Jax, and the barman over there has pointed me in your direction. We're here to offer our services to you. I think this could be a wonderful arrangement of mutual benefit. Yes.
Okay, I think this is taking a risk.
Yeah, sure.
In the circumstances, so I think it's taking the risk, but naive sociability. Roll plus sincere.
There we go. That's what I mean. Not shady at all, really, am I? So yeah. And you know what? I'm going to burn a cred.
Okay, you have to get advantage on the roll.
Wait. Does looking for work roll plus cred?
But
no.
But I am curious. How do you justify what happens now, or what happened in a flashback that justifies that advantage? How have you set this up, or are you setting this up to be worth a spend of your
I paid the bartender when I was asking him earlier. I slipped him some creds, and when I dropped the bartender in it, he looks over to the bartenders to verify this, and the bartender gives like the horizon little sign to say like good people,
okay.
They're in.
That gets you your advantage. Roll the dice plus sincere.
Cool. That is a 12.
Oh wow, these rolls are dividing entirely by character. So on a 7+, you're successful. 7 to 9, no downside. Why doesn't your friend come with us, Chris?
Capital idea. We can go somewhere private and we can talk business, gentlemen. Business.
Yeah, that works for me. I think even Rillisk will notice as you leave that while our Horizon compadre is a bit more relaxed after that, he does still have a gun in McPatrick's back.
I'm sure McPatrick here was telling you all about it, but it's something for a more private location. But what a story we have to tell you about where the Fortitude's been recently and what our mutual friend Jax has helped us uncover. It will be of very much interest to you, I am sure.
Okay. McPatrick, anything, or shall I cut?
Cut.
Cut to it's a kind of fairly dingy kind of office space, I think, down in the bowels of the RGA Rest and Relaxation Center station. Let's put a face to this man. He is faces and places. He is Arnav Kozler. And he is connected to the Horizon and is McPatrick's, inverted commas, employer. And you are sitting down opposite him, pair of you, and the handgun is resting on the desk. Are any of you wearing anything obvious that would be a worry to him?
No, you know what? I haven't changed my gear because we're on the station rather than I haven't declared my.
Well, let's see. If you have that armor, McPatrick, you need to declare that now, or the jump pack for that matter. You don't have to declare anything, Rillisk. None of your stuff is obvious.
No.
What are you thinking, Chris?
I'm going to declare the jump pack now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that our once you just put it in the corner of the room when you come in.
Yeah. I mean, I've got no intent of using it.
No.
Yeah, I want to say that I have got it.
Fine. So no paramilitary armor. That's all I need to know. Okay. Okay, Chris. Tell me this interesting story that your colleague here wants me to be interested in.
Well, it's a recovery job in system. Yeah, we think we need a bit of extra muscle trying to.
Chris. This doesn't explain to me why you're not doing what I pay you to do on Stag.
No, because we're following a lead here. The
Okay.
target you asked me to hunt down came through the ring gate into this system. I'm surprised you didn't pick them up when they arrived. I mean, clearly, whoever the rest of your team are, very poor due diligence, really. Yeah, you know, and they hopped off to a station.
This sounds like you're lying to him.
It does.
I think that given the context, this is more a risk than a convince. Because I think there could be a downside to this. So let's have you roll. I'd roll for shady, which you are good at, it must be said.
I am, so I'd be surprised if it goes wrong, but hey, there's always a high chance. Ooh, I rolled a 3 and a 2, but luckily it's +2, so that just scrapes the 7.
You are successful, but the GM describes the cost that accompanies your success. Let me see what that might generate. A 3 and a 5, a 5 and a 3. He picks up the gun and points it at Rillisk. One of the crew is in the crosshairs. So why do I need her?
Whoa! Don't shoot the scientist.
Rillisk,
if there's any chance of finding this person and where this station is, we need the scientist. There's something in her head that will get us on board.
So I think perhaps there is a bigger picture that is not immediately apparent. You employed Mr. McPatrick here to look into strange traffic in and out of Snag's world, yes? And tell me, have you ever heard of Mantis?
And he looks at McPatrick, and I think it's time to start messing with the debt arrangements, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, I thought somebody had some connection to the Horizon. They don't. No, right, okay. And he looks at McPatrick and says, Mantis?
Not that.
How Rillisk do you describe Mantis?
I bring, like big exposition dump for the benefit of this NPC, right? And I talk about the raids on Galliel's or aid and order across the system, the increase in traffic. I punch up my data tablet and I show the flight path of the Whisper, and its targets, and some of the data that we retrieve from the Snags family. And I said, you're, let me just remind myself of what the horizon is. They're a fringe group of smugglers and fixers across linked systems.
And they're looking to extend their power.
Yes. Now, what do all of these things have in common? What they have in common is that these are local cluster groups that have extended that are looking to extend their reach. Do you not think it is strange that even in the dire conditions of the cluster, that so few of its powers have anything approaching the RGA or the maintenance skills level of technology? We all use the ring gates. They own a monopoly upon intersystem travel, and the guild owns effectively the same monopoly upon the highest levels of technology across the cluster. Every group that reaches towards the stars is being shoved back down down the gravity well onto their home planets. And you, my friends, you are certainly on their radar as well. You have only survived you've only avoided their attention because you stick to the shadows, you smuggle, you are underneath their view, but they are coming for you. And Mantis is a conspiracy that seeks to do so. And they have a great and terrible weapon that we must stop.
I think that's so you don't keep anything back.
I mean, at the moment, I don't see, it's in one of those, like, when we had it so many times in Night's Black Agents, right? It's like what leverage does holding your cards to your chest have you when you're seeking an ally, right? Like, if you're seeking an ally, we have nothing to say that compromises with these people versus everything to gain from their aid.
Is the gist of this that you are outlining and seeking to communicate the idea of threat to the horizon, or are you hoping that they're going to believe you by being honest and transparent in a Rillisk way?
Honest, transparent, having the data to put it up, having the good word of Jax, a member of them who's, as far as I'm aware, in relatively good standing, and that it is a mutual threat to them. It is a threat to their interests. Yeah.
Okay, let's have you roll plus sincere to convince him that this is I'm going to give you advantage because I think you've thrown everything on the table.
Great. I was going to say, is there any way I can get advantage of that? Boom. 11.
Okay. So, okay.
And I feel like the lying was, was just Chris getting out of his. I was originally sent on a job for a completely different reason, and we found a bigger one. And I promise it's connected. Honest.
Yeah. And no, I think you put everything on the table, and he assumes now that whoever Chris talked about coming through the ring gate is involved with this would-be conspiracy.
Yeah, and that works for us because why tell him that it's just a bunch of smugglers that have nothing to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where I throw it back to you. Are you looking for them to pay you to do a job now, which will also pursue your interests?
Well, I'm easy on this is where we enter into these generated things like the nebulous, the gray area, right? Whereas, like, if this was a traditional, like, not thingy, you could just tell me that, like, they'll help you, but they need you to do something, or they'll help you, but like for their help, you'll need to go somewhere to get a thing. But I was thinking a bit more along the lines of trying to wrap it into they believe us and they're interested in helping us, but we need to prove to them in some way of our reliability, do a job for them this session, and that will, give us a good credit with them. They'll pay us for it, and on top of that paying, we'll get the bonus of their assistance. It's like a trial run kind of thing. Like, we're getting paid plus assistance, basically.
Well, it's to recover this person because previously they'd just paid me to keep eyes on them.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this is recover rescue. And unless, because that seems to be the fictional positioning.
Yeah, okay, so the case is that they need us to, like, look, this big conspiracy is all a great story, but we've got immediate concerns, and it's these guys. Wrap this up, and we can help you.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll even pay you for it because, we're good businessmen like that.
Yeah, fuel, and they do have something of a Robin Hood reputation. They are respected. They're rumored, so nobody's entirely certain who's who, but they don't advertise. But the general populace thinks that the horizon is why certain things are on the shelves in their, supermarkets.
Yeah, and they're professionals. Nothing builds professional trust more than money.
So a recovery job for someone who's breaking even is worth 2. Because you would be doing it for a technically illegal organization, it could be that this turns out to be illegal, but that will depend on how the roll goes, right? So if I throw you back now at finding paying work, the basic move, if a job drops in your lap, well, it hasn't really. Otherwise, when you look for a job, say which of the available ones you want. Seems like recovery is fits. And if you want, it can't be through a ring gate, I think, because that's going to throw us off schedule. Say what you do and roll grease the wheels, knowing you'll definitely get the job, but there may be complications or possible advantages, actually. So, McPatrick, I think I want you to roll this. Not just because you've been rolling 6- all the time.
And you get advantage as well because I got advantage that carries on. What is grease the wheels?
Grease the Wheels has replaced hospitality as a ship feature. It's now, where's it gone? Down in quarters. When you try to find paying work or get paid, +1, a cheap meal and a free drink is about as far as it goes. So you don't have much in the way of resource other than the story.
Well, we're, this is a long discussion. Why don't we wet our whistles with, I brew this myself on the ship. It's rather good.
Okay, there's a take and risk in that, but let's not go there. So, McPatrick, let's have you roll.
Is it with a stat?
It's +1, plus the ship stat, grease the wheels.
Okay.
And advantage.
And with advantage. And you're going to get the job. It's just whether it's got advantages or disadvantages.
I rolled a 4, a 2, and a 5. So picking the best 2, that is 9 + 1 gives me a 10.
Oh,
just
you
where
get
we
the
wanted
job.
to be.
You get the job, and you can opt to say it's worth +1 wealth because it's illegal. You have to do this without word getting back. This has to be under the radar. So recovery rescue, bringing something or someone back. Illegal is theft or kidnapped or forced extraction. So this sounds like a kidnap or forced extraction of someone that you say you know.
Well, it's a rescue of somebody that doesn't know they need rescuing yet. That's what it is.
Okay. It is 11 minutes past the hour. I'm going to call a break there while I think and you think about who you're going to get from where. That we're going to play to find someone who's a likely.
I'm happy to invent where in this system. Do you want to do who, Will?
Who? Yeah, and then we're talking about they were hydrocarbon. They were rival smugglers, basically, weren't they? Like originally.
I've got an awesome idea of where, so don't worry about that.
Well,
yeah, swimming pool again, right? Like water park. Like.
So think about where and is that where on this station or somewhere else?
Got to be somewhere else.
Okay. We have one location so far here. It's called Station 5. It's where Jax was born and brought up. But don't feel obliged to stick to that. Okay. It's 12 past. I need to go and get something warm for my throat. So shall we say 20 past back in our
Indeed.
seats?
See you
in a moment. So we come back from the commercial break with McPatrick having created an imaginary MacGuffin who they've followed here. To explain why he's not on Snag doing what the Horizon paid him for. Rillisk has laid everything out. So Arvan, on behalf of the Horizon, believes there is an area of mutual interest here. and certainly wants you to recover with, if necessary, kidnap this person that you followed into the system. McPatrick, where are you setting course for?
We are setting course for, and I will brief Dr. Rillisk on this. I will, if it allows, I've requested share screen.
Yeah. There you go.
Meat Hub, it's called.
You're difficulty with Hub is that we've got a cluster system called Hub.
Okay, Meat Station.
Is this Station 5?
This used to be called Station 5.
Yeah.
It is a fully organic station.
So what, a functional ancient artifact?
Yes.
Because this is well above anything cluster technology could generate.
Yep.
The most disgusting place in the cluster.
Definitely once you've been through one of those sphincters.
And we've been to Snag's World, so.
Okay, so Dr. Rillisk, when Arvan asks who you're looking for, what's your response?
We are looking for a smuggler. We're looking for someone who's attempting to subvert the Horizons corner of the market.
Do you have a name? Do you have any description? Because maybe he can help.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I'll bear in mind that this, as far as we know, this person doesn't exist, right? This is someone conjured by McPatrick under pressure.
This is Ashby Hound, a smuggler who has, I think, gone from being a barely scraping by to suddenly having a proper operation without any explanation as to how.
So just so I'm clear, you're lying to Arvan, aren't you?
It's going to be a strange job if we don't have an actual target to.
Well, but that's my challenge to you, is that McPatrick made up the idea you followed somebody, because you didn't. You're here for your own purposes.
I mean,
you want to end up with...
Hey, what I would say is that we're in the complicated part where I don't know where an original lie was going, and so I'm trying to backtrack and backfill.
So I see Rillisk looking at McPatrick, because this is McPatrick's lie. What's your response when he says, well, who is it?
Well, that's a good question. It's that it's the old Mark. It's Conrad Jones.
So the one that you were supposed to be watching in Snag.
And I'll quickly flip round a data pad and say, you remember him. I'm sure you do. And I'll quickly shove
he knows who he sent you there to pick up. And if you want to add them to names and faces, faces and places, that's fine. And so, no, that makes perfect sense to him. You don't need to test that. You've just substantiated the lie. So
what are we actually getting paid to do here? Can I just have it
to recover Conrad Jones?
Yeah, who we've lied about.
Yes.
Okay.
And as far as you know, is still on Snag.
Okay.
Has McPatrick dug a hole here?
No, there's always a good reason why Conrad Jones is in Meat Station. Of course there is. I saw them leave I saw them leave Snags World ages ago.
No. There's no fictional positioning for that at all. You came here for your own reasons. You invented a pursuit to substantiate your arrival. Either you tell him we don't know, we know what the ship was, or you somehow convince him that he doesn't need to know. What's your options? Because at the moment, you're going to recover somebody that he sent you to watch on Stag, that as far as we all know is still on Stag. So that makes recovering him in system pretty much impossible.
I feel like this this card stack of lies is going to come crumbling down.
Let's head back to Snags World then and recover the person from there.
But then, you followed somebody here. That's what you told him.
Yeah, I mean,
told him. He doesn't know that's true, though, does he?
Oh, so right. So rather than going to Station 5, whatever it is, you go back to Snags World and recover Conrad Jones.
Yeah, why not?
We don't go to Station 5. We just go.
You tell him you go to Station 5 and you go back through the ring gate to Snag.
I'm lost. I'm lost in these lies. Like,
Which is also exactly where Rillisk would be.
Yeah, I'm also like, not why did we lie in the first place about like not coming here and just telling them everything?
Well, look, the objective of coming to the Horizon was that you thought you needed their help to get to the Steel Moon. So as long as you can substantiate that and end up in a position where you can go to them and say, okay, here's, we need your help.
Because you're trying to tie a meta story in with a weekly episodic job.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Just either do the job or forget jobs and just do your own thing, but you can't have both.
Can I suggest that there is a way to stay here, because we've invested in this place now, to simply say, oh, we I'm just going to go and get this Conrad Jones. Don't you just need to say to him, you don't need to know who it is, but we will hand them over to you. Because that's the job that they're going to pay you for.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, cool. Let's have you roll to convince him. And I think that is McPatrick, because it is McPatrick's lie that ticks up, gets these dominoes getting very, very kind of, whoa, are they all going to go or not? Do you think?
So what stat is it?
I think it's shady.
Got no problem with shady at all. 5, 6, 7. It's all good.
Okay, there is a need to do something else before they agree, such as substantiate any lie. Except that their cooperation comes with a complication. I think the complication is that if you don't return with this person, the whole pack of cards just goes down in a heap. And the Horizon are a problem, not a benefit. Fair enough? So now, in the next 2 hours, you need to work out a way to recover someone that you can convincingly sell to Arvan as the person you were here to get the first time round. Now, if this is not a morally ambiguous situation, I do not know what is, but I'm keen to see how it plays out. Let's rock and roll. Aboard the Fortitude, laying in a course towards the station.
Did you tell that lie just so you could tick shady?
No, I'd already ticked it.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
No, I think it was an act of desperation under pressure. I'll be honest with you. I think McPatrick grasped for the first thing that he could think of.
So back on the ship.
Back on the ship.
Yeah. Well, it's rather fortunate that this man was on. I had no idea, McPatrick. You kept that quite close to your chest.
100% I did. What man?
What?
What?
Oh. What are we going to do then?
I'm sure we can find somebody that looks a little bit like him.
Well,
Laser blast to the face, dead person. Did we have to
Yes.
recover a live body?
I don't believe that was
I
said.
don't think so.
Can we at least make sure it's someone who deserves it?
Well, there's levels of who deserves what, isn't there? Somebody's always disliked by somebody. You know, industrial accidents happen.
No, we should have kept Karthik along with us. Could have simply thrown his body over there. I thought leaving him behind, locked to that heat unit was the right thing to do, but he could have been far more useful as a corpse.
I'm sure we'll find something. At least a pile of flesh on meat station.
Yes. So I understand correctly. Our job then is to travel to meat station and find a patsy.
Yeah, while finding out what mantis. How do we get on a mantis installation?
Oh well, I thought that the Horizon would take care of that.
Okay, fine. Let's just go and find a patsy.
Yes. The voice of God is very quiet at the moment, but I can see that it has a lot to say.
Yeah. Okay. We know where we're going.
Alan, that was a subtle hint to say you're muted, which I've been enjoying watching you talk the whole time.
This is even easier. We just now need a patsy. We don't even need a real person. It's just get easier all the time.
So I've shuffled a bit of ship mechanics. So now there is a navcom in the operations section, which is where you plot a course to a named in-system destination and roll plus navcom. Who's piloting? Just for fictional reasons.
Two of us.
Yeah.
One could do one, one's going to do everything else.
I'd put it to McPatrick because I think that Rillisk's skills are better employed at all of the other stuff on the ship.
Yeah. So McPatrick, let's have you roll plus navcom, which is +1.
Two and a 6, 9.
9 on a 7+. Choose to either arrive at the station or have a deep space encounter. What's your preference, McPatrick?
We're an hour and a half away. Let's have a deep space encounter.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, the ship, the crew finds themselves at disadvantage at the start of the encounter. So let's see what we've got in terms of an encounter. 2d6. 1 and 4 or 4 and 1? 1 and 4, 4 and 1. 1 and 4. I think a ship encounter makes some sense to me. Reroll selected. 1 and 1. Very tedious. Okay. You're at extreme range when the sensors bleep up a contact, McPatrick. What do you do?
Don't the doctrine say there's something out there at extreme range, Doc? Burn hard or turn away?
I think we rather have enough on our plate with our current mission. I would.
We're not. This ship isn't very quick. There's a high chance they'll pursue.
Well, I think it has rather more in the tank than people suspect. Yeah, burn hard and get away from this contact, I guess. Right? Like currently, I don't see any reason why we'd want to.
Fine.
Rillisk is already like in way over what she thought she was already in over her head.
Fine. So there's a ship out there at extreme range. You just don't deviate at all. You just carry on burn to the station. Fine. Where's it gone? There it is. Let's have you reset the navcom and see if we get there without incident this time, McPatrick.
Two and a 4 plus 1, 7.
7. Arrive or another deep space encounter? I mean, given that you don't seem interested in a deep space encounter,
well,
or it would depend what it was.
It would depend on what it was, right? Like a deep space encounter could be anything from
Fair enough.
A ship in distress, which I would have said, yes, we go for,
Okay.
or an opportunity, but it could have just been a bunch of pirates trying to kill us, right? Who knows?
Okay. So, McPatrick,
yeah, let's try another deep space encounter.
You never know till you get lucky. Yeah, I think that you come across a deep space habitat of some description that is not emitting any signals.
Well, let's move in for a close scan.
Yes, they could be in trouble. They could have lost power and be survivors on board.
So roll plus sensors. Rillisk.
Okay, which is +1.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got exactly the same as what was on the table already. I got a 3 and a 5, an 8.
Oh. So on an 8. Okay, 7+. Read a transponder. Well, there's nothing, no signals coming off it. And I will answer a question about it. Cause, origin, purpose, value, expected behavior, capacity to do you harm, or current level of alert.
Well, if there's no signals coming off it, I would expect that currently it's at a 0 level of alert as far as the sensors can establish. So I think I'm going to say it's value to us,
Okay. I think...
And I do, Dr. Rillisk does value human life, just to put it out there.
He does. She does. Let me just get something in terms
before we say you could strip the copper wiring out of that and forget the innocent people on board.
It's big enough to have perhaps housed 100 or so people. And you're getting no signals off it, but I think that you're getting some evidence that it is pre-collapse. So we live in a world where a collapse of the ring gates isolated the planets of the cluster for 1,000 years, and 200 years ago, people on Hub managed to start reactivating. And out here in the void, there's debris. There's stuff left from that time no one's ever found.
Well, but McPatrick, this predates the collapse. This is fascinating. We must get closer. We must see.
Indeed. If only somebody could hypothesize its purpose or function.
I would love to, but I think I need more data.
You do.
Yes.
Currently,
yeah. Let's get in real close. I mean, Rillisk is like visibly excited by this. This is her whole reason to exist, is restoring the pre-collapse technology. She's just not a fan of the idea of restoring a super weapon.
Well, I want to distinguish between pre-collapse human technology and ancient technology.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's have you approach. Extreme, far, close. At close range, you can see that, as I say, it's big enough to house 100 people easily, but it's clearly not of cluster technology levels. Your technology is modular, utilitarian. This looks very different. What do you do? No, showing no lights. I think it's fair to say that it appears to be abandoned.
Look for a docking point.
Okay. So boarding systems is a ship facility. You didn't invest in it, so the only way you have of getting across to other objects in space is spacewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody walks a tether across, but there is what looks like an airlock, but it doesn't look like it will naturally pair to you. So there's no possibility of being ship to ship.
That's fine. That's what I got this jump pack for.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
So we see McPatrick suiting up, the spacer in his spacer suit, with the pack attached. Rillisk, are you going too?
Yeah, it's the standing in the airlock, right, while McPatrick goes across to tether it, right? Like
And
that's
then
and then I'll pull myself along, yeah.
Fair enough. So, McPatrick, when you want to board another ship or structure without formal docking, pick an airlock for entry and roll plus the stat relevant. It is force. It's the physicality of this.
But remember, I have in Crackit. I can get in discreetly.
Oh, well, that will be when you get to the airlock.
Okay, so it's forced to get over there.
Forced to get there. You could stress the jump pack to get advantage.
No,
spend the
no,
cred.
I'm okay as it is.
Okay, roll plus force.
Spend a cred to say that we picked up the extra special, super nylon rope to get us across the thing.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at McPatrick.
No, I'm feeling lucky on 2. Of course, I'm lucky on 2.
Wow.
A 6 and a 6.
7 plus, you make it across to the airlock you plan to use. There are no downsides. So yeah, I mean, and I mean, how does this look cool, Patrick? Because
it's got to involve the jump pack, isn't it? So it is, a nice controlled burn over there, flick halfway, burn to slow, and then literally to really smooth.
And the mag boots go on, and there is a tether attached between the two Rillisk, which you can just follow across.
So let me get this straight: 3 bits of gear. So I'll pick the jump pack, and we've both got to pick something from the ship's locker, haven't we?
No. Now you don't have to pick those. You can pick from that list in play. It's only the obvious
but
stuff.
Physically to get over there, it's space. You've both of us got to have a spacesuit on.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you do need to mark spacesuit or spacer suit in your case. Yeah. So you, Rillisk, are clumsy in the standard civilian one. The spacer suit and the expertise to use it. McPatrick is not clumsy and has some AV vitals benefits. Yeah.
And that counts as one of you 3.
No. That is a thing. Oh no,
That's
it should count as one of your 3. I beg your pardon. Yes.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with 1 to declare and Rillisk with 2 to declare in play. So now, McPatrick, you need to break in.
Okay, this is where. So you're going to need to tell me whether it's a digital system or.
Given there is no power, you have to mechanically crack the location.
Mechanically, okay. That is roll shady.
It is.
So luckily I'm pretty good at that. I rolled a 4 and a 6 plus 2, 12.
That goes very well, and there is no downside to that. So what identifies this as a higher tech structure compared to the kind of utilitarian, grubby, gritty?
I think this is a full sort of iris type opening. Multi-leafed rather than now sort of a simple sort of heavy door. This is really nice. It looks old, but there's zero. It's well maintained, or it's not decayed at all out here.
Okay,
it's just really smooth.
Fine. Let me just roll a couple of dice to see where you are, relatively speaking.
He also gets. Obviously, we've opened or secured a portal, but on a 10 plus, there's an extra benefit.
There is.
You set something up that triggered.
I mean, or like in terms of suggestions, like set something up that's trigger when you say so, because it could be like a, you've set up like an emergency quick release. We can just boom, back over to the ship without having to faff around if it goes badly in there. Or it could be answer a question about this habitat and like what might be valuable within it, perhaps, or what purpose it serves to some degree.
Yeah, give us something about this location system, about this ship. I mean, this could easily set up a season 3. The Ancients or something.
Good. So yeah, what is this ship? What is its basic function? Would seem to be a reasonable thing to offer you at this point, wouldn't it? Because that gives us some framing for where we go next with it.
Yeah, and I'm obviously like fumbling along with various tools and insight into the pre-collapse human technology and some aspects of the ancient technology, and can read inscrutable fake tech languages on the walls and stuff like that.
Let's find out if you can. Yeah. So I think that this appears to be some kind of, what would be a word I would use? Some kind of trade or mercantile hub.
Does the size of the corridors, size of the airlock tend to indicate human or non-human?
I think that there's no question that maybe there is a question. Rillisk, does this contain any ancient technology? Is it in fact pre-collapse or ancient?
Pre-collapse would be human technology in the cluster, right? Ancient could be anything.
It's the people. It's whatever civilization built the ring gates.
Right. So I was under the assumption that the ring gates were pre-collapse human structures.
They.
Yeah, who knows?
They're weird.
Yeah. They're weird. They're strange. Yeah. I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to say it shows.
Well,
much
what's
like
your
the ring
hypothesis, Dr. Rillisk?
Yes. Yeah. Much like the ring gates themselves, this appears to show a combination of human technologies, which use many, base 10, many of the assumptions that we see in all human technology, even created independently across the cluster. And much like the ring gates themselves, it's a mix of strange technologies that don't betray the same, root civilization. So it is another structure of.
Let's test that hypothesis, Doctor.
So hypothesize.
I think this is based on your direct experimentation, i.e., being there and looking at it rather than working off a set of data. So roll plus finesse.
And I want to test. I guess it's origin, I suppose.
Source or origin, yeah.
No, I'm not going to stress a piece of gear. I don't think. I do want an advantage, though. You know what? I can always call for aid if it goes wrong, right?
You can. You can.
Calling for aid, please. Should have stressed that gear.
So that is 3. That's not looking good. So this is our 7 to 9. But you only resist pulling on the thread. Oh, sorry.
That's 4 at the moment overall.
Yeah, but 6 minus. As for 7 to 9, but you can only resist pulling on the thread you've discovered by accepting emotional wound, while the GM may add an additional cost to failure. So this could be a 7 to 9. You just have to take some emotional stress.
Yeah, you know what? I will do that. I'll take some emotional stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would I do there? Take a
just
wound?
Stress. A wound. Sorry. Yeah. I think the wound here is fixated.
Yes.
Because it is the capacity to walk away from this before you know exactly what it's about.
This is incredible. The guild claims the guild and the RGA claim monopoly over all of these, and this is a chunk of the past that is, a relic. There could be and who knows what discoveries we could find here. It could be, and it's all without their choke, their grip around the throats of what we could do here. This could be the rest of my life's work.
So, just so we get the move finished, on a 7+, the GM will provide you with information relative to your hypothesis, and you have advantage to exploit it. But I'm interested to know, from what you've just said, I think that there is ancient technology here.
Mm.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, a mix of ancient and pre-collapse human technology. We should come up with a nice acronym for the pre-collapse people. PCPs, the pre-collapse people. There we go.
Pre-collapse people. There we are. 7 to 9, the GM picks one inconvenient truth. And the inconvenient truth is that there is a risk here, because while there is data on pre-collapse artifacts, and there is some data out there on ancient artifacts, this combination is, as far as you know, novel. And therefore, the nature of any risk it presents could be a very great surprise.
Yes, yeah. There has been certainly been times when ancient technology has appeared to have no sort of outgoing signal and has been completely inert, and then has come to life and murdered 3 people. Who knows?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that conversation's been going on, McPatrick. What do you do when you get through into this corridor, which it looks human scaled, but again, the mix of materials is odd. I wonder how odd they are.
Is there an odds table?
Let's have a look. Hang on. 1, 5 and 1, 1 and 5. 1 and 5. Yeah. The skin of this station is human. It is metallic, but smooth, not the kind of rough utilitarian build that you're familiar with. But there are strands of what look to be organic connective materials running along the corridor. So it looks almost as though it's using organically grown components. Okay?
Says a lot. Says a lot about it.
And I suppose you dropped the pebble in the pool when you introduced the meat station.
Of course.
So is this connected to that? Well, who knows?
Could be. Who knows?
Who knows?
Only a scientist could tell.
So you appear to be in a large cargo space, McPatrick.
Well, I think I will turn to the doctor and says, Doc, I'm happy to look round here, this area. But did you bring that drone over with you?
Of course, never leave the ship without it. We'll boot up the drone and send it on an exploratory mission down, to map out as much of the rest of the ship as is feasible.
Okay.
The station.
Yeah. So.
I mean, you could put on your drone goggles.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Kill the GM.
So drone science, range far, hardened, AV feed, simple manipulator collector. Okay, so are we just using the drone here to spot anything worrying as you make your way through this, or are you going to sit here and let the drone go as far as it can?
I think I'm going to.
Well, hang on, it's Rillisk drone.
Yeah, no.
But how big is it, Alan? How many areas to explore are there?
This could house 100 people.
Yeah, that's why I said I was going to do this cargo hold.
The drone's faster than we are. Until the drone hits an obstacle that it can't get through, it's better. So I'm, while McPatrick is routing through these, the cargo, like flashlight panning over it all, right? Rillisk sits down cross-legged, and
pilots the drone.
Pilots the drone around, yeah, and he's got that little, the flashlight going off the drone as it flies around the very dark corridors and everything.
Okay, so this sounds like you're exploring, doesn't it?
Yeah, just the drone is doing the exploring. So if it goes horribly wrong, then it's the drone that goes rather than
exactly.
me.
When you're the first member of the crew to enter an abandoned or unexplored zone of a ship, blah blah blah. It sounds like you're taking extra time to consider your options, Rillisk. So roll plus sharp. and let's see whether the way that this move's been sharpened makes a difference.
That is a 7.
Okay. On 7 to 9, the GM excludes one option before you pick one. There's very little light, so you are going to be disadvantaged by the lack of consistent light. There's nothing. It's literally you've got the beam coming off the drone, and that's it.
Yeah, no peripheral on the camera. Yeah.
But the question is, do you want a breathable atmosphere, or do you spot a risk to take for it to proceed?
I don't care about there being a breathable atmosphere. I think that would be pushing it.
Okay.
I don't think that makes sense. You got to roll a 10 for it to find something worth happening,
Yes.
right? I think
that's when you want to stress it.
Yeah.
When you want a 10.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I hadn't realized that 7 to 9 essentially is just carry on the
yes, it's
the expedition.
Make progress and take a risk.
Yeah. A risk to take, I guess.
Fine. What is the risk that the drone? Because you said I'll let the drone go until I encounter a problem. So what is the problem the drone encounters?
Come to these shafts that go vertically up through the body of the station, and have to pilot the drone through those. Perhaps they are some sort of anti-gravity lifts.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Take a risk. This sounds like precision. So finesse, I think.
Yeah. That is a 9.
A 9. 7 plus, you succeed. GM discovers the cost that accompanies your success. Do you want to go up or down?
Up. This is a human. Humans were here. Humans tend to have a tendency towards important things being at the top rather than the bottom.
Okay, so you go up, and something interferes with your further progress. It doesn't go far up, and a network of these organic conduits forms a mesh across the top of this shaft. So you've encountered, you've made it through, no harm to the drone, but the drone has found something that's going to need a bit of activity to get through. That could be using the manipulator connector to break through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but let me go back to McPatrick. McPatrick, Rillisk in the corner, seeing where the drone what the drone can find. What approach are you taking to exploring this? The options you have are on the basic moves explore. Brute force and ignorance. There's a box, I break into it. We're on the clock, let's get this done quickly. Trying to avoid tricks, traps, observation, whatever. Or slowly and steady, considering your options.
I think it'd be silly to go quickly while Doctor's doing his thing. So I'll also take a nice steady approach around here. Now, I've got a decent spacesuit. So
roll plus sharp.
Do I stress my kit? Yeah, I'm going to stress the spacesuit.
Go on. In what way do you think that's going to help?
So while I'm cautious, I'm going to turn those lights up really high. Drain a lot of power from it.
And you've got the IR and you're using all those systems. Fine. Roll 2d6 or 3d6 now, plus sharp.
8.
7 to 9. GM excludes one option before you pick one. I think that, again, I'm going to stick with it's dark. you're disadvantaged by the dark from here on in this.
Well, I've got infrared, so
that should help. So as long as they're warm. Do you want a breathable atmosphere, or do you spot a risk to take?
Spot a risk to take.
I think I'll define the risk this time. There are containers here which have peculiar looking, for want of a better word, locks. They appear to use, I don't know, palm or fingertips rather than, typical button pads, which is what you're used to. So there's a risk to take to open a container. Do you want to take the risk or just move on?
Take the risk.
Okay, let's have you take the risk. This sounds like sharp to work out how to do it, or finesse to do this precisely enough to make a difference.
Can I use my crack it?
You could use your crack it.
Although the finesse would be good. No, let's not do the finesse. Yeah, let's use crack it.
Physical location, roll plus shady.
We need to get in here, so yeah. 5, 6, 7.
On a 7, you open it. The simple one there. 7 to 9, you're detected. Either take emotional strength or accept they know who or where you are and that retribution is on its way. Oh, yes. It opens, it clicks open, and a light comes on inside the box. So this station is not entirely dead.
What's in the box?
Nothing.
Apart from a light.
Apart from...
Okay, well, that's fine. This place was dark, so now there's a light source in here. So yeah. I've cancelled out the disadvantage.
You have. Light spills out.
Hey, we've got some light in here, Doc.
What? So, Doctor, you're confronted by this mesh, an irregular mesh. It's not like, somebody strung it. Again, it has that sense of having been grown for a purpose here. You're not sure what the purpose is, but it will need to be cut through or circumvented in some way.
Some sort of like black chitinous material.
I wouldn't. No.
Somebody inside of it going, "Kill me, kill me."
No. I'm avoiding that.
No, I know. I'm only joking. I think it makes sense to try and cut through it with the drone's little manipulator. Yeah, which perhaps has like a tiny little blowtorch or something on.
Fine. And let's do that thing then.
Yeah. Basic moves. This is another take a risk, right?
I think it's take a risk unless you've got something else in mind.
No, I think it's take a risk.
Do you want to stress the drone to get advantage on this, or?
Well, this is one of the areas where I'm not really clear on the mechanics. It seems as though ultimately what I really wanted was a 10+ on the explore. And
in a perfect world.
Everything that I'm doing from now on just seems to be trying to get back to the ability to roll explore, as opposed to, because if I take a risk, am I not
you've encountered an obstacle? Yeah.
So
you can ignore that and explore down.
Yeah. You know what? I'll ignore that and explore down, because that's
whatever interests you.
It's tight in here. The drone could get snagged on something, and who knows how these would react to the blowtorch.
Roll plus sharp.
And
don't break things until you know what they are.
Yeah, and I will stress the drone to do so.
Okay.
Boom.
Wow.
10.
So 10+. The GM will add at least 2 options to the list. Salvage cred worth 1. Something worth 1 cred. Find someone who needs saving. I think given the context, that's rather unlikely. Find something of narrative value, or progress to the next zone. Because you are currently in what I am broadly describing as cargo.
It's cargo. I th yeah, I
You're not going to get.
suppose.
You can't stress it again, Will. So
Yeah, I'm gonna.
keep going in other zones. You're probably never going to get that 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I think then it's something of narrative value here, given that we're in cargo, and
Mhm.
perhaps it is some sort of archaeotech MacGuffin, like an object, and that could be ship or human size stuff. But I'm free. You know what I mean? It's like we find
Okay.
something that's like we can take off the ship that
Okay.
could be of
I,
use to us.
I think that what you see, um, there's a patch of this organic material, and it deforms outwards and forms a bowling ball sized globule of matter. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
small enough to capture, but of strange construction.
Hmm. Maybe like a strange like lattice work of these things, like it's sort of like seems dense, but like it's see-through at the same time, and it's just like really strange material.
It is very
And
strange material indeed.
the drone will very carefully with its manipulator arms, and then back up. And maybe like the room, like the shaft went down, and this is some sort of like storage container room, kind of like, clearly like used to carry things, and there's this object within a bunch of like opened crates, because no matter how fancy you are, you need some sort of box to put things in, right? Like that level of technology doesn't change substantially. Even Star Trek has big crates.
I'm going to suggest we take a pause there for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nearly 10 past. Let's go till 1/4 past.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think that's a good cliffhanger to leave us on.
cool.
So we left Dr. Rillisk's drone having got hold, and I put it in Faces and Places, this PCP / ancient globule, organic globule, with extrusions coming out here and there. And it seems perfectly content to be carried by the drone manipulators back towards you, Rillisk, if that's what you want to happen.
Fascinating, fascinating. And Rillisk, like gingerly with her gloved hands takes it from the
Oh, well,
drone.
hang on.
Oh, okay.
So it comes back into that cargo space.
Hmm.
McPatrick, I think that probably you're watching Rillisk manipulate this thing back into this large cargo space. Um, Rillisk, what do you do when the drone begins to experience resistance to travel now that you are back in this cargo space?
I don't know what you mean by that, resistance to travel.
You are bringing it, and it's coming back towards you. And when it gets in this space with you, the drone stops moving, and you kind of up the power,
Hmm.
and it feels like the drone is being restrained, and you can certainly see the pressure on that manipulator rising.
Hmm.
What do you want to do?
I carefully pilot the drone so it puts the object down on the floor of the same of this cargo space that we're in.
And lets it go.
Yeah. And then
McPatrick, what do you do when one of those extrusions shoots across the room towards you?
I'm going to take cover, and so this is an extrusion from this sort of bowling ball.
This bowling ball, an extrusion comes out, and it becomes separate, and this little ball of goo, this table tennis sized ball of goo, is zipping towards you.
I'll get over comms to Rillisk saying it's attacking. Get your drone.
You're in the room.
Back.
Rillisk sees this happen.
Yeah, see it happen,
and I'm going to try and take cover and get round it. Oh, could this be a plan? A quickly formed plan?
Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, I'd make it disadvantage for being, because it's not a plan, is it? It's a reaction.
The thing I want to get to is I'm going to distract it.
I tell you what, take the risk of taking cover to buy yourself some time.
Yeah.
That seem fair?
Yeah.
I think this is finesse, because it's how quickly do you get out of its way?
I'm more than happy to roll finesse.
Go for it.
Odd you called that one. 8 minus 1, 7.
You are successful. But I think the narrative cost is that this globule hits that box, that storage container you'd examined, and you notice the surface layers of that container begin to fizz and steam away into the vacuum.
It's dangerous, Doc. It's dangerous. We've got to try and contain it.
What do you do? Because I will remind you that your cracket led to they know you are there and retribution is on its way.
Indeed.
Really?
Got to get it and get out.
I should have used gain the improvements of fringe theories when you encounter an ancient artifact or some phenomenon that the GM agrees is beyond normal science. I should have taken that one, but we'll leave that.
Which one did you take?
I haven't taken any of them yet.
Well, do you want to take that one?
Well, I don't think this is the right time to hypothesize. You know what? This is the right time to hypothesize. You know, why not? Because then I get to declare what this thing is, really.
Exactly.
Right?
Or something about it.
Yeah. I will. So I will hypothesize direct experimentation. I think.
Just looking at it, the way it's behaving. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will declare my I think my data tablet, which I've been using to control the drone as well, and it has all the readings and sensors from the drone, and I'm looking at all of that and the stuff, and I'm going to hypothesize, and I think it has a purpose
or flaw and weakness.
Yeah, it has a weakness, I think, is the
okay. Let's go with that. So it has to have a weakness, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So,
this is roll plus sharp using the data that you've collected on it.
Yeah. That is a 9.
A 9. Didn't you
so
get
my
advantage
weakness
for your fringe theories?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So actually, I should
re-roll the red one.
That was a 1 anyway. So yeah, it couldn't have been higher than what it was, right? Yeah. So the hypothesis, based upon the data that I've got, is that this would be susceptible to the same electronic impulses that would disrupt biological life form. So that a risk I'll need to face now or later, I think, is that I will have to test my theory.
I think I'll tell you what the risk is. The risk is that so far it's shown no interest in you at all.
Yeah.
This becomes personal if you interfere in its function. But you're right. If you can find some way to subject it to a range of, stun it with something, then that might buy you some time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a pistol stun, close stun.
Okay.
I think I'd like to, and I get advantage from my my theory.
You do.
So I'd like to try and stun it.
When violence erupts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is a ranged weapon, roll plus finesse.
That is a 10.
Whoa, look at that. 7+, your target suffers a consequence dependent on your weapon. So this is a stun weapon. So it takes that. No 79. The consequence they suffer increases by 1 step. I'll describe that in a moment. And you take no downside from that at all. So you zap it. McPatrick, you dive behind that container, and it was heading towards you and beginning to deploy another one of these extrusions when Rillisk shoots it. And there's a kind of aura around it, and it drops to the ground.
I think I need to contain it. Now, I take it there is no There's no item called sack, is there?
I mean, I could make or break something using the tool, the gear around here,
No,
the
no,
containers.
I'm very happy for your suits to come with something to take samples in. Yeah.
I would like to try and contain this item.
Because what's happened is this has spread out into a puddle on the ground. Yeah?
Yeah, let's try and contain it.
We should. There's
We'll
more
take
of
a
this
sample of it.
Take a sample of it. Look around, and
get out of here.
We need to return here. We need to come back with more people, more gear.
We'll pinpoint its location, Doc. Don't worry about
that.
What I would suggest is you have a drone with a manipulator and a sample collector.
Mm-hmm. The drone takes a sample, and we head back out across the tether, I guess, back to the ship, and we'll come back with a Nesta and some heavy firepower. A full team, yes. Rillisk looking longingly at the ship as we leave the station.
Because Nesta is celebrating with her old friend Red on the R&R station.
Yeah. What should we call this station? We should call it Station Lost Nest.
Lost Nest. Fair enough. So you've got this, and I think then we cut back to a meeting with Arvan, to be honest, because you're not going to be able to find a body that you can claim is Conrad Jones. So the question is, what is the approach you can take to Arvan that will get their help? You could just ask for their help, or could you offer something in trade?
I'm happy. I'd like to take a debt. Just say, look, we've failed. Sorry about that. We owe you one. We'll continue to look, but this wasn't. We just couldn't get there.
So, pardon me. What is the help you want? And I might go to Rillisk for this, because I think Rillisk has a sense of this is going home for Rillisk. So how can these smugglers and fixers help you, Rillisk?
I mean, it's it's an open secret among the maintenance guild that bits and pieces of the maintenance guild technology keep entering the hands outside of sanctioned routes, right? And Horizon must be the source of that. So what is Horizon's way onto the Steel Moon? What is their underground railroad for getting things on and off, and how do we get advantage of that?
Because it might well be that the maintenance guild needs some of the highest tech stuff from Hub.
Yeah.
And so it is both on and off. Yeah.
I mean, they've got a corrupt maintenance guild member who's their contact on there. I want to get us some sort of are we going to be given fake credentials and transponders and stuff like that, so that the Fortitude looks like a different ship and we're pretending to be different people? That seems like the best way of doing it, as opposed to
I think that's
infiltrating.
Provide fictional support. The GM agrees, if I could spell, is possible and practical. So I think that this is about providing you with cover for a delivery to the Steel Moon. And the cover of being, an Horizon ship. Does that seem fair?
Like transponder codes. Yeah.
Or a ship carrying Horizon goods. I think it's worth just trying to be clear here. This will grant you advantage when it comes to docking with the Steel Moon. Incognito, so to speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to me to be the key bit. How you get beyond that, I think, comes down to how you approach the challenge. But of course, by then, McPatrick may have thought of a plan.
As long as it doesn't involve making
up a person something
up. Well, I guess we don't get paid for that job anyways. So
you don't get paid for that job.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in theory, you could get paid for a cargo run to the Steel Moon. Because if you carry out that job, if you get that job done, what you do while you're there is frankly not the Horizons business.
Okay. Yeah, because at some point, the Horizons original one's going to exchange credits and hands with whoever's there. Yeah. I'm kind of imagining like the Horizons operation on the Steel Moon being this very like um tacitly approved kind of arrangement, like
You need the
below the board.
tech, and in response, in return for that, you sell them some tech because you
Yeah.
are, that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and one day they won't have to pay these people. They'll just threaten them with blowing up their planet if they don't do what
Exactly
they
so.
ask,
Exactly
Like, yeah.
so. Exactly so. So I think that is where we will pick up next time with you popping through the ring gate in I forgot the splintered
The
reach.
splintered reach, yeah.
Um and uh and having a downtime just
Yeah,
to have a chance to do a bit of this and that. In fact, do you want to do that downtime now? Because we've got 10 minutes,
sure. I'll do a downtime now. And
because that would at least get us set up for next time then, wouldn't it?
yeah, we are scraping by now, so we only get
You are.
to
Which probably
fix.
means downtime has very little positive impact at all.
Well, we get to fix, refresh, or heal something automatically, right? And the downtime activity. Is that right?
Um, yes, you do. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
scraping by. That's right. Yeah.
So
So
fix my drone.
refresh your cred to 1,
Hmm.
because that's all your credibility is worth. And then you get a fix, refresh, or a heal.
Uh, well,
What's a refresh?
Refresh clears your stress track. Heal clears a wound.
Okay.
well, I've fixed my gear.
So you're going to stick with that emotional wound.
Yeah, I think I'm fixated on the ancient still. That sounds good to me. Um, and my downtime move that I'm going to do is work on a project, which is going to be study this sample.
Now, I'll be honest with you, you will not get anywhere near a conclusion to that, because if you go way down the bottom, you'll see project clocks have 5 bits in them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm very happy for you to narratively be there, but don't feel bound to that. Let me go first to McPatrick then. You pop through the ring gate into the splintered reach, and there, hanging not far from the ring gate, is this steel moon, this artifact that the entire society of the splintered reach is focused on understanding, and as far as Rillisk is concerned, activating as a weapon. So, McPatrick, how do we see your downtime in action? Flashback to the ship, or is this something on the RGA station, the R&R station?
I'm just looking at surely check the biz. When you say where you go, what you do, discover how you get the best jobs. Uh, yeah, no, I think because we didn't get paid for this job we've just done, have we?
No, because you didn't complete it.
Didn't complete it. So we've had to pay for a refuel now, haven't we?
You have. I've just taken 1 away for refuel and resupply at Scraping By, loses you 1.
So I think this is surely this is probably more about this stuff they want us to take, getting a good rate on that. So I want to check the biz to try and get, you know, they are going to pay us really well for this next job.
Okay.
I sort of feel I owe it because I screwed this one up a bit.
Fine. Let's have you roll plus cred, which is only +1 now.
Indeed. Well, screwed that up, didn't I? Rolled a 2 and a 1 plus 1, 4.
Ah, wow. Someone catches up with you. I think we see I think we see Conrad Jones on a concourse. The irony of it.
Indeed. Just the man we were looking for a few days ago. Excellent.
Rillisk, what about you?
I mean, I think it is going to be working on that project clock. I mean, we found a sample. What was the point in that whole exploration opportunity if not to do that? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will work.
When you help us visualize the ship location where you spend time working on your current project, roll plus sense or finesse, depending on the project.
Yeah, I think I'm working
Sorry,
on the
sense sharp. Beg your pardon. Sharp or finesse.
It does say sense on the thing, but
It does.
sharp would make more sense, I think.
Yeah, it does. Given sense no longer exists.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I will try and work out more about this organic material that was all over the ship, all over the station, the Lost Nest station.
We have a lab.
I'm doing it in the med bay. I think that's our the closest thing, to a lab.
Sense.
To a lab I've got.
That's at +1.
Yeah. Well, that's a 12 anyways. 13 even. So I
goes like a top. You mark progress on the relevant progress clock on a 10+. Say how what you've spent doing allows you to fix, refresh, or heal. I think I'll let you make a second mark on the project clock.
Great. Thank you.
And for each of those marks, tell me something you discovered. Reminding yourself that you won't know it backwards till you get to the 5th.
Yes, yeah. What I've discovered is that this is a sophisticated bioorganic like interface. It seems to react to outside stimuli in sort of predictable fashions, and it clearly responds to technical, to electronic signals and other impulses. And that it appears to react to human biological matter.
I mean, I wonder whether, are you prepared at this point to say, is this ancient technology or not?
It appears to be some form of ancient technology that whoever these pre-collapse residents were had managed to gain some sort of control over.
Control. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
So what we see on the station perhaps is a sign of it being uncontrolled. We don't know, but it is to them this was something that they could use in the same way that we use the ring gates.
So it is ancient technology based, and it is a sophisticated bioorganic material. Put 2 ticks in your on that. That I think is where we leave it then.
Cool.
Yeah, with Conrad Jones as a potential complication, and with some learning about this material before you make your run on the Steel Moon. Fair enough?
Yeah. And is there a role to be made for, can we get paid for the delivery of stuff?
Let's have McPatrick, because he does feel slightly obliged here, find paying work. Actually, this has dropped into your lap, hasn't it? I could tell you what this is, because this seems to me to be a cargo run through a ring gate for an illegal organization.
Sounds good.
So a cargo run for someone who's scraping by is worth 1. You get +1 for the ring gate trip, and you get +1 for it being not entirely legal. So I'm going to give you 3 more wealth. Does that impact on whether you want to spend any of that on the Fortitude or because you could upgrade a component now if you took all of your scraping by away.
You still wanted to see a little bit of space combat, didn't you, Will? So
yeah, I do want to see a bit of space combat.
Let's save it for some repairs.
Yeah.
Well, that space, you're not going to have another downtime for repairs.
What would be good in a space combat? Controls, weapons. We're pretty good on weapons. Security, drive, boarding systems. I think that the good thing why don't we upgrade either our armor, our weapons, or our controls?
Okay, so we're looking at the upgrade column. So this isn't about adding one because that's more expensive. So in terms of your armor, repair drones, once per session, roll plus armor to make a hull repair. Or reinforced, add a box to the damage track.
So this is upgrades, isn't it?
Yeah, this is upgrades. Yeah.
Target and array, roll weapons at advantage.
That sounds good. That sounds great. Yeah, target and array. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Oh, go ahead, Paul. Or whoever. Yeah, there we go. Fine. And that will scrape the barrel to the bottom. So we start next time desperate, but with everything to play for. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. End of session.
Done.
XE.
Oh, yes.
What about Rillisk's backstory?
Yeah, I think it came up quite heavily.
So do I. Did you champion an ally or help them take center stage?
Yeah, I think, I was like, McPatrick, these are your guys, these are your things, do the talking. No, don't do the talking like that.
Yeah, I mean, for good or ill.
Yeah.
Fine, that's 2 for Rillisk. What about McPatrick? Backstory? The whole Arvan thing.
I fleshed out quite a bit this system, I think. Yeah.
You did. And do you champion an ally or help them take center stage?
Oh, you need to hypothesize here, Doctor.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that means that
I've filled anyway, so I'll think about. So I'll just get rid of the 4 and leave it at 2.
And you got one to sort. Fair enough. Okay. Then let me pause the recording. Oh, can I post this?
Of course you can.
Yeah, sure.